You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
Yeah! Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for Moviesucktastic. Hello!
Hello, everybody.
How's you doing?
Episode 101. We've passed over the 100, and now we're into the ones again.
We're starting it from the top.
We're always starting from the top because we're always at the latest episode. So that doesn't make any sense. But all right,
0 sense. I'm just trying to follow your lead.
That's okay. That's norm for the show. We're doing fine.
We're doing all right. The boys are all right.
Well, I don't know about you. Oh. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for this episode. I am not my jovial, psychotic, endearing, lovable self today. I'm a little bit run down just from the hectic last couple days, somewhere in between that. So it's a little more subdued episode, which is good because we're reviewing, I guess, a subdued film.
Now, we're reviewing Life of Pi.
Correct.
And
because there's no way in shit I was sitting through Lincoln this week. No way in hell am I going to spend 2.5? It's got to be like 4 hours, right? How long is that?
It's 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, no way this week could I handle sitting through 2.5 hours of guys dressed in period costume muttering to each other.
Now, I agree with that. We need to free the slaves. I heard that. No, we don't. Everything's great. What's wrong with you?
We'll let you in.
Haven't you seen Django?
I know how this movie ends, damn it.
There's no surprises in this.
They should be showing I really hope they're showing this film on marquees next to Bullet in the Head. Lincoln Bullet. Well, that's like spoiler alert on the screen. That's all.
There you go.
I mean, I don't want to sound ignorant. I don't want to say, it's about history and stuff. But honestly, if there's a story that's already been told enough, I mean, whatever. I don't know. It's.
No, I agree. You're right.
There's only 3 kinds of audiences you're going to get. Audiences that are like bored.
Yeah.
Audience that are captivated and that's just creepy. And audiences who are going to bitch the whole time because it's historically inaccurate in some way, shape, or form. They didn't use that kind of lapel back in that time period. That didn't happen until 10 years later. So, fuck. I guarantee you right now, if you go to IMDb, and I'm not going, and go to the trivia page, or the goof section, I guarantee there's a whole list of buttons like that weren't crafted until 20 years after Lincoln was shot. This is, yeah, I can't handle that this week. I'd rather watch the Indian kid fight with a tiger.
Now, and I agree, because we've been trying to do 2 films every week because of the Oscars, because there's 9 nominated, and we're trying to get as many in as we can. There's just no way I'm watching 2 movies this week, let alone Life of Pi and Lincoln. It just ain't happening. Not
and I was
gonna
happen. And I was gonna suggest a more since it's Valentine's Day. But that left even. If I'm more attentive and curious and interested, I can handle an adult film. I'm not in that mood this week. I'm not.
Agreed. Now, Life of Pi. It's based on the book of the same name by Martel.
Been in development since 2002 or so.
2001.
And
you mean the movie? I'm sorry.
I mean, the movie's been in development since like 2002 or so. And originally they had M. Night Shyamalan attached to it.
And it makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't they?
Did.
Yeah, why wouldn't they get one of the premier, directors who happens to be Indian to direct this film?
That was before The Happening.
That's before The Lady in the Water, or The Lady in the Lake. I don't even know what the fuck.
No, Lady in the Water. You're right.
It was Lady in the Water. Okay.
Lady in the Lake is
that was like the beginning of the end, right? Lady in the Water.
That was exactly the beginning of the end. Yes, exactly. If you want to chart the down, forget about movies people complained about. A lot of people bitch about
like The Village and Signs.
Yeah, fuck them. Those were good movies.
Yes.
The beginning and the end was Lady in the Water, just because everything. Two things. One, his twist was like so untwisty. He's like, okay, yeah, we saw this coming because we're looking for the twist now, and he kills a film critic in the film.
Yeah.
And that was just like a red flag of like, he's fucking done. Like, you can hate him all you want. You can't kill them in your film.
That's right. So what do you think you're doing, man?
Unless they're the hero or something, but you can't. Yeah.
Right.
It's cringeworthy. It's like listening to Kevin Smith talk about his film career.
I thought you were going to take it easy on Kevin Smith a little bit.
No. This isn't trashing Kevin Smith, but I'm saying if you listen to his earlier audio commentaries, especially like the audio commentaries for the cartoon series, he spends a good deal of time, and I'm not saying he's wrong, but there's a good deal of time whining about, and he had a nervous breakdown practically because his fans were rebelling against him, calling his stuff shit. And look at Dogma. Dogma's whole thing was him chasing down fans complaining about his films and attacking them for it.
Right.
No, it was maybe in tongue-in-cheek, but he's still pretty much saying, all you people making fun of my films, fuck you. And no, you don't do that. You make your art, you walk on. You don't argue with the people looking at the art. So, and that he did, M. Shyamalan did the same thing and same results. So, yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Now, the book was, according to the wiki page, it was it was rejected by 5 London publishing companies or publishing houses.
All right. And now, hold on. Can I just say that any novel, unless you're Stephen King, is going to get rejected by multiple publishing houses before it gets whatnot. No one sends their first novel out and immediately, we'll take it. Jesus Christ, how much can we pay you? If it's your first book, or if it's a book that's a bit off, and you're not a big name like fucking James Patterson, yeah, it's going to get rejected. So I don't even consider that to be any kind of shocking trivia. Okay. But I'm sorry.
Well, you're the authority on that. That's why I brought it up.
No, don't you lay that on me. I've got my.
I laid that on you, bro.
I got my biased opinion, and that's it. Don't. when I have a book rejected by 10 publishers, and then I get to get sold and make a minimum money, then I'll be an authority on that. Okay. Right now, I'm just spouting.
You're just spouting. Well, anyway, Ang Lee is the director of this film, and in much the way Ang Lee directs his movies, it's very beautiful, and it's very, in my opinion, it was pretty fucking boring, and that's just Ang Lee's style. Now, not everything that he does is that way.
Slow.
Methodical. I don't mind slow.
Picturesque.
I don't really mind slow.
Yeah.
But it just, personally, I didn't like this movie at all.
Really?
I really didn't like this movie. Now, don't get me wrong. There were scenes that I thought were good. There were definite scenes that I enjoyed, but as a whole, I did not enjoy this film at all. And that's just I thought why? Okay. Personally, this style of film, I normally enjoy, where it's
what style is that?
What?
What style is that?
Where it's told from the perspective of, say, one person, where it's one person or two people. The entire film just about is almost not a coming of age, but like the story flows in a certain way because there's only one person in the movie. You know, I tend to enjoy films that are lonely like that. But I didn't enjoy this at all. I thought him stranded in the middle of the ocean bored the shit out of me. I thought
Even with a Bengal tiger attached to it.
I thought him jumping off the boat and into the ocean got fucking boring real fast. He must have did that 5 times. I thought the fact that he made a raft out of the only thing that he could actually fucking steer himself into safety or towards a goddamn island. He took the oars and made a fucking life raft out of them. It's like maybe you should put that. Maybe you should put that on the boat and use that to paddle somewhere.
Dude, it's a 30-man raft. He ain't paddling that anywhere.
You're not. Well, you know what? Then don't just sit in the middle of the ocean and do nothing. Do something.
You're right. He should have jogged.
It did bore me, but
you know why it bored you?
Wow, this movie that I have on in the background, this Indian film, has a lot of nudity in it.
Oh my!
Was not expecting that at all.
Ooh.
I thought they were a little bit more. Oh my!
That shows how much you know about Bollywood, my friend.
What
I'm gonna say is, I know why you were bored.
Why was I bored?
I chalk this up to CGI. If this film was made 20, 30 years ago, we'd be talking right now about how amazing it was how they managed to film the tiger and the kid in the same scenes, and how the training of the tiger and the locations and it just all that. So we'd be talking about that right now. We'd be talking about how they filmed on the locations, how they did this, or what they did to create these effects, and what they did to show the boat, that shot where he's underwater and he sees the boat sinking, and just that shot and how they accomplished that. We'd be talking all about the magic behind the making of this film. And we're not talking about that now because it's all just fucking computer graphics. There's nothing magical about a tiger in the film when 86% of the shots are a computer-generated tiger that we know is a computer-generated tiger because it looks like a computer-generated tiger. Anybody who tells you it looks like a real tiger is a fucking moron.
Agreed.
You can watch it, and it's not like it's a lot of I couldn't tell which scenes the tiger was real. Well, then you're an idiot, or you're a 5-year-old.
I will say this is the closest I've seen to where they've gotten CGI animals pretty good, but you're right. They're not good. You could still.
I'm not saying they're not. Yeah.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about what scenes are CGI and what aren't. But it's the closest I've seen that they've gotten it to get almost getting right.
But that begs the question: if we can get so close that it's obvious that this is like, wow, they've gotten so close to real, and yet there's no way you could stare at the screen and go, I wonder which scene doesn't have a real tiger in it. I don't. You can tell. So if that's the case, if you can watch this film with realistic animals being portrayed by computer graphics, but still know it's a computer graphic, why are we bothering?
No, I know.
What's the point?
It reminds me of back when I was a kid. Do you remember the film Tarzan: The Legend of Greystoke with
yes, I do.
What's his face, Lambert?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christopher Lambert.
It was a great role for him because he didn't talk a lot.
This is true. I remember back then, and I'm a little kid. This is 1984. All right, I'm 9 years old. Okay, and they had a contest, and this was the premiere of this movie on Showtime. They had this contest, and they said, if you can spot all of the gorillas that are not real in every scene, you just mark down what scene it's in, and you can identify all of them, you won like some grand prize, like a cruise, somewhere. And even as a kid, I'm watching this movie, and that's fake. That's fake. This guy in a suit. Okay, that's a real monkey. That's a guy. It just and this is 25 years ago, so yeah, we've come a long way, but we're not there yet. Not there yet.
Well, will you ever get there? I mean,
yeah, at some point.
Listen,
some point they'll get it.
Let's mention a film we haven't mentioned in a while. Avatar.
Yeah.
Here's the thing where you won't believe it. I mean, you'll believe that these are real aliens. They're so realistic. There's not a fucking way that you're going to look at that. I don't care how smooth and fluid and how many pixels or what have you. I don't care how great it looks. There's no way you're looking at it and going, are you sure they didn't get real aliens for this? Because that looks no. It's still, no matter what you do, it's still obviously special graphics.
What was the James Cameron quote? This will change everything. And then he says, yeah, this will change everything. Meaning this will change everything about the way films are made. He was being a real cocky, smug bastard about that. Then, later on, I think it was even later that week.
Then the Hurt Locker wins Best Picture. He's like, what the fuck?
And then later in the week, he corrects himself and he says, well, maybe it's not going to change everything. But it is going to, yeah.
It's not going to taste how your egg. It's not going to change how your eggs taste.
Right.
It's not going to change. It's not going to change price of gas. I mean, let's be fair.
He was basically backpedaling. This will change everything.
It's not going to change. Your belief in God.
It's not going to change how much money you make.
Yeah, it's going to change how much money I make. Because I'm going to make a fuckload of money off of this dipshit nonsense. So enjoy.
Enjoy.
Fuck him. I'm sorry, what?
I was agreeing with you about the Indian culture and all that. I like Indian food. I don't like Indian movies.
You know what? I don't mainly because of I've had Indian food before, and my feeling is that all the spices that are in there are just because food is harder to get in India, and so they put the spices in it so you don't want seconds.
Really?
That's my theory.
That's your theory.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it.
I really dig Indian food personally.
I don't know.
But
it's one of those cultural things too, where a lot of the spices were in the foods, in the meats, for example, so they didn't go bad, and so now that's why they use those spices, even though now we have refrigeration. So, but that's me.
It's your opinion. It's
everything's my opinion.
Everything is. You just said maybe you're wrong.
Actually, that's not an opinion. That's a theory.
It's a theory.
Yes, that's a theory.
So a little fact checking. I'm sure you're wrong.
I bet I could find some facts to back me up there.
Maybe we should start reviewing this movie though.
Well, we were with the graphics and stuff, so let's not be totally down on ourselves.
All right.
Now, the main theme of the film is about belief and about religious.
So religious.
Well, it's about allegory too. It's like when this starts off, he's being told the story of Vishnu, and some wacky cultural savage idea about looking in the mouth of this baby god and seeing the whole universe. Whatever. The Greeks had better gods. And
yes, they did.
Yeah, and
what did they say in the film? They have something like 10,000 gods.
It was like something million. It was like millions. I'm pretty sure he said. But what I'm getting at is that whole setup of him being told this allegory to try to explain the universe sets up the story of the Life Raft with the tiger, as it's meant to be an allegory for possibly be an allegory for something else. I don't want to ruin the ending just because I'm not a bad guy.
Which I did like the ending though.
You saw it coming.
Well, you did see it coming, but I still liked it.
And so it's about how the film's theme is about how we as men, as people, we as a species, create allegory, religious allegory or otherwise, to explain stuff to help us explain things in a simpler format. How to take something traumatic, but irrefutable, and turn it into a simpler story that's not even just simpler, but more endearing and more entertaining, and gives more hope. And it's been done before.
Well, yeah, it's been done countless times.
It's been done before, and it's hard to watch this film and at certain points not think of Big Fish, or Secondhand Lions, or other films of that nature that follow a similar type theme. You could even go back as far as Terry Gilliam films, if you want to go to Time Bandits and Munchausen. Although
Right.
it's not attempting as much to ground itself in reality as others. So that's where it's coming from, and it pulls that off from a writing standpoint, telling the story. It pulls that off wonderfully, I think. I think there's a great craft in the character arc, in revelation, in the approach to the subject matter.
Right.
The story is great. I think where the film falls flat is the direction, not because it's directed poorly. I don't think Ang Lee's a bad director, but I think what fails it is the budget. I think there's too much money dumped in this film. I think taking a film like this and just making everything look so picturesque, perfect, to try to give kind of a super reality, in some ways I think just cheapens it.
I think you're right. It just, and it was also in 3D, so there's lots of things
really?
flying at the screen.
It was in 3D when he was pointing that stick at the screen for 5 minutes straight. That was in 3D.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
I had no idea.
No idea. For anyone that doesn't know out there, yes, it was in 3D, and they do a lot of pointing things at the screen and flying fish or whatever the hell those were, flying, skimming off the water. They do lots of shit like that.
My favorite was the 3D tiger spraying in my face. That was my favorite. I was
like that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this should be a ride. Oh.
It's funny you mentioned how this, it's been done before, and one thing that comes to mind is even almost the theme of someone on a boat. Now, well, yeah, I love the movie Castaway.
I think after the end credits, they should have had there should have been a shot at the end credits of Richard Parker playing with Wilson in the jungle.
Oh. And that's another thing.
What? Where
he's on the beach and he's...
You didn't even laugh at that. That upsets me. I didn't even get a chuckle out of that. That really bothers me because I thought that was kind of funny. Thank you.
Well, it's a good segue for where I was going to go with the Wilson thing. Tom Hanks...
Not a great
segue. Dude, it was hilarious. Okay? Everybody start laughing.
Just saying, it was funny.
You know what it'll be? I'll listen back to the podcast and I'll laugh, and then I won't hear myself laugh, and then you tell me how I didn't laugh, and then I'll feel bad.
Good. Now continue.
Okay, thank you. Tom Hanks, the way he emotes about Wilson when he's on the raft and he loses Wilson, and he's screaming, for Wilson. That scene alone, 10 times more powerful than him staring at a tiger. Later on, being all emotional about it.
Well, you know why? Because the tiger's not real. It's CGI.
Well, yes, it's a fake.
The volleyball's more real than the goddamn tiger.
Well, exactly. And I'm just pointing out that everything that this film didn't do, Castaway did better. In every aspect. And where you were going about it being done before, the first thing that comes to mind is Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea, and the Spencer Tracy film, Old Man and the Sea, I enjoyed more than I enjoyed this.
I've never liked Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. It's just I'm not knocking Hemingway, even though I enjoy doing that sometimes to piss people off. But Old Man and the Sea has never been a popular one of mine, and that's more man versus nature. Where this one's more it's even though the theme of the film is man versus nature on the surface, it runs much deeper than that. That's the problem with the film too. It's kind of a bait and switch, which is okay when you're reading a book because I think you've got a higher level of intelligence for averaging. I got to stop right there.
Now, it's interesting.
Let me put it this way. Okay,
go ahead.
Your reading audience is more likely to have the background to understand the layered themes and how one is really being used to portray the other, whereas your average movie theater audience is too busy talking to each other.
Okay.
So that's. Well, I mean, when I said it's been done before, I was kind of tongue-in-cheek when I did that. Obviously, the major themes run throughout all films through there,
Well, of course.
and it's kind of unfair to compare it to Castaway because Castaway was going for a realistic feel, and that had a lot less to do. It had a totally separate theme to it than this film does.
Oh, it's totally different theme.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's stranded on an island. He's on a boat. I mean, that's different right there. But
yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm kind of hogging the mic on this.
no, it's okay. Well, I kind of forgot where I was going to go with this.
Oh, I'll take over. No, what I think for me, I keep coming back to the CGI because I think when you be back again 20 years ago, an epic film was.
Oh,
epic,
I remember what I was going to say, but go ahead.
An epic film was epic because you saw all the effort on the screen. There's no effort with this. It's like, oh, why? You know that they did all this stuff with the flying fish and the stuff under sea, not because it's in the book, because they could do it.
Mm-hmm.
They could do everything, and they, you dump a budget into it, and you spend all the money on all this graphics, and it costs money. But
It was
the
a
sweat,
$150 million budget for this.
right? But the blood and sweat isn't in there, and the craftsmanship isn't in there, and I think having a scene where there's a tiger and a kid, and for a fact there's a glass wall between them, is 10 times more interesting than a scene with a tiger and a kid, and you know that the tiger's not even there because it's a fucking computer graphic animated lump of digits. A series of ones and zeros. Share the Life Raft with me. It's unimpressive. I'm unimpressed with these. Ever since Troy, I'm just like, it's been downhill for me with CGI.
Ever since Troy?
Because
I'm trying to think of it going back further than that.
The trailer for Troy, because they were doing Lord of the Rings is out. They were doing massive graphics. Like, wow, this is great. The trailer for Troy was one longboat. Camera pulls back 10 longboats. Camera pulls back 50 longboats. Camera pulls back 1,000 longboats. And I remember watching that and thinking, 10 years ago I would have been impressed as shit. Now it doesn't mean anything to me because I know you just doubled the graphic feature on the. You just plugged it in. I'm not impressed. And ever since then, I've become less and less impressed with what they try to do on the screen as an epic, and they're achieving more with less effort. And the less effort is all I'm seeing. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just biased.
No, it's a great point, and I tend to agree with you a lot when you go on a tangent like that because it's the fucking truth.
Is that a tangent?
A little bit.
Okay.
It was a little bit.
All right.
Now, I've never read the book for this, and
Me neither.
Now, just judging by what I've seen in the film, my gut tells me that this book reads 10 times better than the film is put to celluloid. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of the themes that they try and go for from book to film, they kind of lose a little bit. That's what are you doing?
I'm listening.
You're not. Anyway, no, I think they, and not to sound like, the book's better, but I think this is one of those instances. If I did read the book, I get the feeling that I would enjoy it 10 times more than the film. It just there's a lot of aspects to the film that I can tell probably got portrayed much better in the book. Probably delivered a better message, flowed better, and just overall, just read better than what they did in the movie. And I just found him on a boat with a CGI tiger to be boring, and that's just the way I felt about it. And I try to have an open mind about it, and it just did not work for me. This movie, it just didn't.
And I have to agree with you. It's like, I'm not saying it's a bad film, and I don't think you're saying it's a bad film. But like you said,
no, I didn't know. I just didn't like it.
It's just,
yeah.
It's a little dull, and it's sad because I think literary wise, it's great writing. It's a great story. It's a great idea.
Right.
It's complex. It's layered, yet it's simple and approachable. I like it. But what ruins it is just they threw it on the big screen and turned it into an epic, and sometimes less is more, and sometimes more is an IMAX 3D spectacle.
Kind of makes me think of the Matthew McConaughey speech in A Time to Kill, where he's in the courtroom, and Sam Jackson with the daughter, and then at the very end,
Don't go ahead.
No, it just, and I hate to make it, because we were talking about the Indian culture, and that's one of the reasons why we didn't like it. Think of this film if it wasn't Indian culture. If it was just any other type of culture.
If it wasn't,
would it have
Indian
translated better? Would you have liked it more?
No, I honestly don't think so.
Because it would still be someone on a boat with a CGI tiger.
Right, and I have no problem with the Indian culture being involved in it. I'm not saying I hated it because of that. I admitted up front I'm a bad audience for this kind of film because I'm automatically going to cringe a little bit just at the setting. If it was done in another culture, I would not like the film more. I would if it was done with another culture, there would be less instances in the film where I was kept waiting for them to ask me if I was having trouble with my internet. I kept waiting for one of the characters to ask me to please hold. Beyond that, there wouldn't have been any difference, really.
Okay. I just was curious.
And ironically, I watched this film a day after I totally went off onto Indian support call service people from American Express. By the way, American Express, fuck you. But yeah, I almost made this one guy cry. It was fun. So it's kind of ironic that I did that, and then because technically, in that case, in this film, I'm the Bengal tiger.
Oh, okay.
I guess if you want to do a metaphor,
That'd
be an interesting alternate version of this film that to do a scene from it, but instead of trying to tame the tiger, he keeps trying to get his billing information. Like that. That's totally out of line, and I admit that.
It
but I'm not
kind
taking
of is, but it's funny. Anyway.
Oh, that you'll chuckle at. Stuff that gets me in trouble, you'll chuckle at.
Sure.
All right, yeah, I got you.
Sure. So yeah, I don't know if I would have liked it more with a different culture. I might. I don't know. I don't want to say definitely no. I mean, I'll never see it in a different culture, but I don't want to say definitely no. Just because I do agree with you that I'm not the biggest fan of the Indian culture myself.
Right. But again, that's not what's holding me back from the film. What's holding me back is the over-the-top CGI graphics that totally suck any. So he's talking about looking into a tiger's eyes and seeing a soul.
Right.
And then you're surrounded by soulless, top state-of-the-art computer graphics. There's your soul. There's your lack of soul right there.
Something tells me I might have forgiven it a little more with a different culture. I don't know.
That's because you're racist.
Maybe. Do we want to rate this movie?
Yeah, sure. Life of Pi is on 8.2. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
On 102,000 votes. That is way too fucking high.
No. That's not
way too high.
It's way too fucking high.
I say drop it a point for the CGI animals, specifically the tiger.
Uh-huh.
I say drop it another point. For I say drop it another point because I think just sitting out there on a boat for 227 days not doing a goddamn thing pisses me off. I know that's how it was written in the book.
He did a lot of stuff. He did more stuff than Kevin Costner did in Waterworld. He didn't blow up the ship. Wouldn't that be funny? That was a ship Kevin Costner blew up in Waterworld.
Why are we comparing Waterworld to Life of Pi?
Because they both take place because Waterworld was the same problem. Oh, so we're still on a boat, eh? An hour later, oh, look at that. We're still on a boat. This is fun. I'm just disagreeing with you. I think he did a lot of stuff on the boat. I don't think it was boring because of.
I think he jumped off the boat and into the ocean too much. It's
Really?
like, oh my God, there's a tiger. I'm jumping in the ocean. Okay, I'm going to try and get back on. But
That's-
wait a minute. You're going to try and attack me for eating a fucking biscuit. I'm going to jump back in the ocean. Okay, a little bit later, I'm going to get back on this boat, and then I'm going to jump back in the ocean.
I think you're grasping, sir. I think you're grasping.
Grasping at what? How many times does he jump off the fucking boat and into the ocean? Jesus Christ.
He's in the ocean
if
on a boat with a tiger. What are you going to do with
But
a
he
tiger?
keeps jumping off the boat and into the fucking ocean because he's scared because he's scared shitless from the fucking tiger on the boat. It just, stop jumping off the fucking boat.
What are you going to do when a tiger attacks you on the boat? You punch
First
it in
of
the
all,
nose?
if I'm that scared of a tiger, I'm going to do everything I can to get the tiger off the boat. And then the boat's mine, bitch. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It angered me. It angered me. You take the oars and you make a life raft out of them. At least show me an attempt to fucking raft, row somewhere. And then realize, okay, it's a 30-person boat. This isn't the best idea.
He's smarter than you because he's not going to try to row a 30-person boat first. He's going to build a raft to stay away from the frickin' tiger that he can't get out the boat.
Oh,
I think you're grasping, sir, but I'll give you a 7. But I wouldn't go lower than that.
You don't think this is lower than a 7?
It's at an 8. I'm saying down to 7. Yes? No?
I think this film's a 6.
No, I disagree. I think it's very well written. I think the story is good. I think the main failing is the over-the-top CGI graphics. I don't think it deserves a 6 for that. I don't think you agree to me. It's not a bad film. It's just a boring film. I wouldn't say 6. 6 is bad. 7's just.
I don't know. I feel like we've been giving movies too high a score lately.
I think this is an Oscar-nominated film.
Oh, fuck that.
if I had a major plot issue with the film,
so is Avatar. We're not going to play that card.
But there was so much more wrong with Avatar than just the graphics got monotonous. There was so much more wrong with that than that. This film, the only real failing I can find is the over the top CGI really just obscuring any real soul to the film. And I think your boredom is an extension of that. I say 7.
Can I get this down to a 6 somehow?
I'm going to fight you on this. I really am. I think if we're going to be fair to the films that aren't bad films, we can't go trashing this one down to 6 just because you have a problem with people jumping in water.
Is there anything that you would rate it higher for any reason?
No. I think it's as high as I'm going to go with this film. Again, I explained why I'm rating it as high as I am, because I think the story and the writing are very good. And I wouldn't take anything away from that.
All right. Make it a 7.
Yeah, I win.
You win. Again, this is like the 3rd week in a row.
All right, when you feel strong about something, you'll hold out too.
I guess I will.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're done. That's it.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for Moviesucktastic episode 101. What?
Hey.
Oh, you're welcome. You can go to our website at moviesucktastic.com and download all of our podcasts. You can go to iTunes and download them there as well. You can leave us reviews. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. You can email us at themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. All right, everybody. I'm done. I don't have any more to give you.
That's it. Oh, we'll give you more next week, baby.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day. We don't know what we're reviewing, but it'll be an Oscar film for sure.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah. All right, everybody. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bow.